Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Plus 63 HP podcast review edition. I'm one of your hosts, John Clemente. Alongside of me is my bestest best friend in the entire world, Chubax.
Hello, I'm Chubax. You can call me Daddy.
We call him Chubax. And if this is your first time watching us, welcome. We thank you for your view, and we hope that you come back again and bring more friends. Plus 63 HP is our stable of shows that includes one, a reviews show where we review a couple of cool shows and movies in depth so we can provide you with insight whether you should watch it, when you should watch it, and who you should watch it with. We also have our D&D show where we record our very first D&D playthrough. And lastly, we also have our react show where we react to cool new clips, featurettes, trailers, snippets of different shows, and to gauge which ones we should be hyped about and which ones we should keep close tabs on once the full show or full movie, game, or whatnot comes about. This is our review show, and this week we have a couple of amazing content to discuss in depth. Firstly, we have Yellowjackets, episodes 4 to 7. And then, as our main topic, we are going to review and react to The Kingsman, who recently dropped on streaming services, Hulu and HBO Max last week. If you want to join our discussion next week, we will finish off Yellowjackets, so episodes 8 to 10. We'll be discussing that. I am lucky enough to be living in a place where I can watch the Batman in the cinema. So I will, yeah. So yeah, and I'm watching it in a Nighthawk where I can have beer and food with my friends. It's almost a 3-hour movie, so I figured that would be a cool time to just drink a lot of beer, eat a lot of food, and enjoy Matt Reeves' Batman. So I'm going to give my very quick, no spoilery review about that. And our movie of the week next week is King Richard. So please join us next week with these shows, and then hopefully you can bring more friends and family into this little community of like-minded individuals that likes to enjoy and share good content with everyone as well. Housekeeping done. We're just gonna go right into it. Our A block will be discussing the middle episodes of the Yellowjackets season 1. And just a reminder, we like rating the shows and movies that we watch, so it'll guide you whether it's for you or not. So our simple rating rubric is anything above 5 is good, anything below 5 is bad. So if it's 10, it's a masterpiece. 9, it's excellent. You really have to make time to watch it. 8 is great, so watch it if you can. And then 5 to 7 is various levels of good. And then, of course, when it's bad, 2 to 4, various levels of bad. And then if it's a 1, it is pitiful. So either don't watch it, don't touch it with a 10-foot pole, or watch it ironically, or send it to friends that you don't like. So before I do the synopsis of episodes 4 to 7 of the Yellowjackets, Chubax, you're the one who suggested this series. How are you liking the series so far? 7 episodes in. How are you? What do you think about the pacing? What do you think about the story? And what type of shows are you closely comparing it to at this point, knowing that we still have the last bits, the denouement, as they say, of the series coming up?
I'm liking a lot of it, but there's also some that's disappointing for me in a bit. Like I like the dynamic of the past and the present. I like most of the acting. The women, the girls and the women are amazing. Some of the stuff like Misty is so cool. She's just fucked up.
Misty's the
Yeah,
best.
I even had a discussion with the RJ about it. Like, w- it's like Misty just needs a friend. Would I be Misty's friend just to be able to help her? And then we came to the conclusion that President Misty's too fucked up. She's like the cable guy. If I befriend
Yep.
her now, she's just gonna want too much. I think she needed help then when she was young.
Mhm.
But then she was still kind of fucked up then. But overall, I like the story and I like where it's going. The only issue I have is there's not enough paranormal stuff. They don't even
Oh, okay.
so that's where
I
I'm
think that.
going. Like I compare it to like you said, like I said before, like Lost. It's lots of mysteries. They're like they're saying stuff about visions and other supernatural stuff. But then some of them there's already like a 50-50 um 50-50 real world explanation, right? Like with
Mhm.
Lottie, it could
Oh,
be
yeah.
schizophrenic with
Yeah. Yep.
and I know with the Thaisa, the dirt eating is there's also a real world
Sleepwalking. Mhm.
there's a real world equivalent to it. So it's like they're always sidestepping stuff, and I think it would be cooler if they just confirmed the supernatural. But let's see how it ends. They can tie it up prettier than I expect, and it'll be better than what I wanted if they close it out strong. But that's my
See, I
initial.
think that's where we disagree because I love the fact that every single supernatural thing can be
Can be has an
explained.
equivalent. Okay,
Yeah, so that's I
I agree.
like
I
that
agree.
part. And
I mean, I can see your
you
point.
know,
Not agree,
and
but I
the
can see.
idea here too is because of the first few episodes, particularly episode number one, it took me a little while to match the
Yeah, me
characters
too. That's
together,
what
the
I.
old and the young,
Yeah.
and then there's a lot of them because it's not only just the main five characters, but there's also some ancillary characters that are very important to the story. So by the time we got to the middle episodes 4, 5, 6, then I realized like, all right, now I have a grasp of the people.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know the coach, I know Javi, I know Travis, I know even like the quote unquote unnamed girls still in the
Mm-hmm.
series. I kind of getting to know them and where they lie in the group. So 4, 5, 6, and 7, I had a much better time than 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
We progress more into the story in a faster pace, and then we get to see a lot of kind of like the baseline stuff that we're going to be wanting to resolve towards the end. So when
Mm-hmm.
I finished watching episode 7, I was very, very like shit.
Let's get it.
I really want to watch the next one. I really want to watch the next one, but luckily again, I was a little bit sick, so I figured I'd sleep it off. But like shit, I'm like I'm hooked. I'm hooked. I'm hooked. Not in a painful way. Like I'm not in a low key week on week way.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those things where I was watching it like, oh, I understand why this show has a lot of followers, and I understand why this show has a lot of buzz. Pardon the pun intended. Uh, uh, a lot of buzz around it because it does combine the cattiness of high school girls. It does have stories about how what women or older people kind of struggle through and as they get older, and then there is the supernatural, and then there's the survival, and then there's the all the other weird stuff
Mm-hmm.
happening together. So okay, there's a little bit of something for everyone. So I really like how they paced it. So I'll just run through the episodes. Feel free to jump in at any point if
Mm-hmm.
it is uh uh part of the story that you guys interested in. But episode 4 is Bear Down. Episode synopsis is the girls play with guns to determine who's the most responsible, and Natalie entangles a lifetime of piecing broken men, and Thaisa greets the rich. So in this episode, the group finds a gun, determines that Natalie and Travis are the hunters of the group after
Mm-hmm.
like a certain tests, and they become kind of like the people that will be going out in the woods hopefully to find game because they're running out of food. This is also the touching moment here is when during one of their hunting sessions, Travis goes to his dad's graves, digs it up, and gets the ring from his
Or
dad's
tried to.
finger. tried to.
Tried to.
Natalie was the one who did it because he couldn't. But this is a way that he could give his little brother Javi something else from his father and not just this fucking disgusting, overly chewed gum that he has been chewing and then stowing and chewing and stewing forever.
Ugh.
So that's one of those things that our there's it's not particularly highlighted, but that's extremely sad and extremely heartfelt. So I like the fact that all right, here's a ring, so you can throw the gun away. So in the present day in episode 4, Nat meets Goth Kevin, now a cop, right? In one of the bars that she was drinking at, and she uses Kevin to dig into Travis's murder. So he asked whether to just look at the coroner's report to make sure that nothing foul has happened and in Travis's stuff. In the present day, also, Thaisa goes to a fundraiser and wanting a support of this old white lady. She almost gets it. Like they were having a smoke in the back room. She almost gets it. But in return for the donor support, she wanted to probe into her past a little bit more, essentially just wanting to confirm if they were cannibals and whatnot. So Thaisa rejects that particular donor, essentially putting a nail in the coffin because of pride, but also just like, yeah, you wouldn't want to be in bed with somebody for the wrong reasons. And that white lady was we just wanted some dirt on people. She didn't really believe in what she was standing for. So
she was just curious, and she wanted.
She was very curious.
She's like a collector.
100. Mm-hmm. Also, in the present day, Shauna and Adam finally get physical. When Nat and Kevin went out on a date, Misty finds Jessica, the pretend reporter or writer. Misty finds Jessica tailing Nat and Kevin. And then at the end of the episode, Misty finally tells Nat that Travis is dead. So that is episode 4, Bear Down. Episode 5, Blood Hive. I love how the also forgot. So I love when they use the titles as puns. Like in episode 5, Blood Hive. Like it's not in the episode synopsis description, but it's Blood Hive because like all of the girls' periods has already synced.
I like so that they discuss that because it can be an issue stranded in an island.
100%, and it's relevant not only for representation or taking out the taboo in certain bodily functions. Mm-hmm. We're not the ones to speak of it because we don't run it. Mm-hmm. But the idea of it, like they show how, that's another layer of survival that these ladies have to go through compared to most of the survival shows and movies that we've seen. Like we are, so they have to boil the blood out from the napkins, for the tampons. They have to reuse it because it's very, very important. But it also
the
kind of
when Nat was doing some funny business with Travis, he had armpit hair, which would be realistic.
Yep.
Because they've been stranded. So I like the small details.
Yeah, even Thaisa's, and it's gonna be in the episode next, but even like Thaisa's teeth having like some gray stuff around it is kind of like indicative. I had to watch a couple of episodes, so I was like, oh shit, I see it. Right. But anyway, so episode 5, the girls ride the Crimson Wave and plan a dark art slumber party. So they do a seance. There's also a Halloween night where Shauna parties like it was 1996. So for notes in this episode is the start of the episode is Lottie running out of meds. So that's an important factor in not only in this episode, but in the future. So she's running out of meds. In Club Ontario, it's getting hornier because Thaisa and Van, as well as Nat and Travis, get busy. So, of course, naturally, people get more intimate, more physical the longer they are. And if you don't have a lot of choices, whatever is there for you, that's there for you. things are becoming more and more intense in Club Ontario. So to lighten things up, Jackie suggests a seance where Lottie seems to have gotten possessed when they were doing their seance. Right. So she suddenly spoke French. She rammed her head in the window, yada, yada, yada. So
I love that scene where like, you're speaking French. Weren't you in French? Yeah, she sucked. Well, what's she saying? Well, I sucked as well.
I sucked too. So that was kind of great. And I rewatched that scene too, where the window opened and blew out the candles, right? And before anything else had happened. So yes, there is still that supernatural part of it, but still can be explained, right? Other parts in the episode that happened. Ben is poisoned shroomed by Misty.
My God, she's so fucked up, man.
Yeah. So what Ben decided to do, so Ben is the coach, is to deceive Misty to become her secret girlfriend or like their secret lovers.
He's smart though. I have to give him
smart.
That.
It's very smart. It's good.
That did cross my mind that he had a lot of condoms. I'm thinking if he's sleeping with one of the students. I don't know.
I also thought that, and I also figured that in the end, I thought that the group was cool enough to understand what was happening. So maybe Ben could just like, yo, Misty's just crazy, help me out. But he didn't. So we also we do another flashback to a flashback where Nat's abusive dad died because of gun misfire.
That was the stupidest way to die, bro.
It is, but it's very, very realistic, and I really appreciate the realism because when in the episode previous and what's her name, Nat was hesitant about the gun and she saw the flash of her dad's head blown to bits. I kind of like, oh, that's boring. She shot her dad in the head. And then when they did this reveal, I was kind of like pleasantly surprised because I was taken surprised by how they turned this out. And then it's a good thing about the blood hive about people's period because this is where Taissa finds out that Shauna was faking her period by dipping her napkin in the bloodletting of their game, like their deer. And this is where Taissa finds out that Shauna was pregnant. So that's all in the past. In the present, there's a sign painted on Taissa's home, says spill. So kind of like alluding to spill your secrets, spill the blood, spill the tea, spill the cannibalism that had happened when they were in the wilderness of Ontario. But not too long later, they found out that the paint was underneath Sammy's bed, where Sammy blames the lady in the tree as the person responsible for painting that. So this is where Taissa contemplates dropping out of the race, but in the end, ultimately, she stayed in to her wife's dismay. Shauna also attends a Halloween party with Adam, but she then bumps into her daughter, who was unfortunately also wearing Jackie's old Yellowjackets uniform. So that was a trip. And then Callie, Shauna's daughter, finds out about Adam and their affair. The next day, Callie tried to blackmail.
Daughter's kind of a bitch
tried to
too.
blackmail. Very good.
Like mother, like daughter, I guess.
Shauna said, like, I don't even like my kid. She's an asshole. It's the best because she is. Callie tries to blackmail Shauna, but Shauna reverse psychologies her way out of it. And eventually gets Callie in her employ. In the end, though at the end of the episode, Nat and Misty gains access to Kevin's files. Kevin, the cop, and learned that initially there was no foul play. She was not drugged. Travis was not drugged. It for all intents and purposes, it seemed like it was a suicide. However, Nat and Misty kind of like pieced together the photos of the crime scene, and it seemed that there was a ritual that was done where Travis was murdered. Like it kind of showed the image of the symbol that people have been looking at. Which again, symbol we still don't know. I still don't know what the symbol means, who it does, whatever.
It was there before.
Couple
them,
more.
Right?
Yeah,
it was there before.
It was already there, and the woods already there.
The
house,
in the house as well.
Yeah. Episode 6 is Saints. So the Yellowjackets tangle the birds and the bees. They navigate love and lust, and they do a do-it-yourself surgery somewhere there. In the present, blackmail bunnies and an icy reunion. Misty prepares for a surprised house guest. So, flashback. Start of the episode again. We're starting 2 straight episodes with Lottie. So this is where I realized, like, oh, these other characters are super important. So Lottie distracts her parents in the car before an apparent car accident happened to them in front. So if Lottie did not distract his parents, they would have been ran over by somebody that was passing the line. So that was a good point. Shauna and Thaisa's friendship grows. Shauna tells Thaisa that the baby is Jeff's, and that was Jackie's then boyfriend, hence all the secrecy. Shauna tries to hang her baby out. So that was also another one of those things that I applaud the show for being this graphic, because this is what happens in real life.
Is that possible?
Good thing also, what? That's how people do it. Yeah, that's how people do without access to good reproductive care. That's how people do it. And Thaisa tries to help, but in the end, Shauna decides against it and keeps the baby. So more stuff from Lottie sees a vision of a deer with bloody antlers. Very important moving forward. Laura Lee. Laura Lee trying to make more sense of the visions and the things that she see. So Lot trying to make more sense of the vision that she sees, talks to Laura Lee, and Laura Lee decides to baptize Lot so that it's not just hallucinations, but it's more of like a vision, a sign. And then not soon later than that, Nat and Travis kills a deer. And once they opened it, it was maggot infested. So it was weird because this was the vision that Lot saw, like the deer with bloody antlers. And they were explaining it as, deers kind of shed their antlers once a year, so that sometimes it gets all fucked up.
Ben actually knows a lot. I'm surprised.
Yep. Yeah. And then in present time, Simone, Thaisa's wife, takes Sammy, their son, to the shrink, and then the shrink just says Sammy is super stressed. Also, this is where Nat and Kevin finally has sex. This is also where the episode where Misty finally wants to get into the root of all the blackmail, all the murders and whatnot. So she decides to kidnap Jessica, the reporter. And then at the end of the episodes, we finally figure out that the lady in the tree is actually Thaisa. Thaisa sleepwalks, and sometimes when she sleepwalks, she eats dirt or she does weird shit. And then at the end of the play, so it was her in the tree.
So wait, clarify this. The son also sleepwalks?
No. So the son...
No, because the psychiatrist said that he doesn't remember stuff.
Yeah, because of the stress and the trauma. Okay. Remember, when it's such a traumatic vision, your brain tends to repress it.
So all the things that were happening is Thaisa doing it, and then the son seeing her and then repressing it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Repressing it. So thinking that it's a different person because that's not her mom.
Okay.
Right. So that's simple explanation around that. So which is kind of like, I love the fact that it's not supernatural, it's an actual person doing it, but it still explains the lady in the tree.
Still creepy and still
creepy. Last bit is episode 7, No Compass. As starvation looms, Thaisa leads a last-ditch effort or / suicide mission. And then also, amid felony schemes and all-night stakeouts, the Yellowjackets are forced to commit small talk. So in the end, in episode 7, Thaisa, Van, Misty, and then a previously unnamed character. Now that I realize that who she is, Akila tries to find help. So Taisa wants to not be stuck in the cabin before it gets cold. She wants to go south and find help. So a couple of people went with her. So Lot tells Van a vision of river of blood and red smoke, and Lot also gives Van this charm, this kind of unburned piece of bone, and says that it will protect her, which is a great touch too. In the middle of the episode, the group, Thaisa's group, is attacked by a pack of wolves, and Van was severely injured. This was cool because
what happened here? How did Thaisa end up with the bone? I forget.
So
it was with her.
So it was with her. So what happened was she fell asleep.
Well, right? she was on watch.
She was supposed to be the first on watch. She fell asleep, and then she let the fire die out. So the people got attacked.
But how did the bone get to her?
I think she took it to unconsciously protect herself because she knows she was in danger. And then she went up the tree because she unconsciously knew they were going to be attacked.
So that's why.
That's what I think.
Van is dead, right? Is she dead?
No. She survives.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's what happened. So they get attacked by wolves. Half of Van's face got eaten out. But like what you mentioned, Thaisa wakes up in a tree with the charm, and while people are screaming because they're being attacked by wolves. Van is severely injured, and in the present, Nat, Shauna, and Thaisa agrees to pay the blackmailer the $50,000 in cash. So they agreed to meet. They wanted to put the tracker in the bag so that they can track the blackmailer as the blackmailer escapes. We notes here is that Thaisa is usually the rich person, couldn't get the money because she was having troubles with her wife, and you can't withdraw that much without your spouse's approval. So Nat sold her Porsche for this. So this is where we see that Nat is really, really into this. Like she really wants to figure out what's happening.
Find who killed Travis.
Mm-hmm. As the blackmailer escapes, so the blackmailer escapes, but the blackmailer gets glitter. Very important note, I'm assuming, for the next few episodes. In the end, we cut to Misty having Jessica in house arrest. Jessica reveals that she was hired by Thaisa.
Which is correct from what we know.
Which is correct. Again, everything is fine. She's just a horrible person, but hired by just to make sure that nobody talks. And then also at the end of the episode, after all of the hullabaloo with the blackmailer and whatnot, Adam is waiting for Sean at home. I thought that, this is kind of like Adam is super fishy. I'm pretty sure Adam is either the blackmailer or part of the blackmailer crew. But instead they have sex.
Before that, I just love Misty here. She's so fucked up and in such a cool way, the eclair threatening with the dessert. And then
fentanyl. She threatened to poison Jessica's dad, who lives in a care home, by sending Jessica's dad fentanyl-laced chocolates. So cool.
And then Jessica having more information, using it as leverage. And then Misty says, "It's only leverage if I let you talk." And then she just tapes her up and fuck yeah, go Misty, fucking shit.
And I love it. She wears overalls and gloves whenever that she's in. So she knows what the fuck she's doing.
She reminds me of the character
Bates,
Castle Rock. Bates.
Oh,
Castle Rock
Bates,
season 2. Bates. Yeah.
Miss. So I love Missy's character. I wish she had.
I was like, they should have clued her in the the blackmail. She would have figured something out. You know, should have
That's true.
should
That's
have
true.
done
Well, I
better.
mean, there's 3 more episodes. I'm sure that they're going to bring in Misty at some point. Um,
She's like the
so,
wild card.
or just like somebody that will kind of either Misty will kill somebody for them,
You remember
or
that?
track somebody for them.
You remember that? That anime. The one he has gloves and like the mob style. The one where there's like chibi guys, and then he became the leader of the mob. He's like the tenth leader.
I
You don't
forget,
remember
dude.
that?
No.
It's like a funny anime where the kid is like, he was chosen to be the tenth leader of the mafia, and they have powers and stuff. And he's like timid. He's more like Usopp, but then when he uses his power, he becomes very cold and calculating. And in that
Never seen that.
you have it's where he has to find his own crew, and his classmate is like the baseball player, and then his bat becomes a sword, and then I forgot the title. But anyways, it's just that like
Reborn.
there we go. Right, there's like symbols for each character, and
Mhm.
there's like the sun, the water, and I keep reminding Misty as there's this other guy who's like the cloud. He's like the wild card. Like he's not part of the crew, but he's part of the crew. So he can help from like being an outsider. So Misty's like the wild card. Like you don't know what the fuck she's doing, but she can help you. Something like that. It just reminds me of that.
It's a. I think I love the balance of the characters with Shauna the mom, Taisa the successful businesswoman,
Mm-hmm.
Nat the crazy girl, crazy druggie, and Misty just the crazy person. Like I
Yeah.
like that. I like that crew. So
I just
um
don't like Shauna. She's just a piece of shit.
I'm loving Shauna
I don't
because
see
she's the
anything.
normal.
I don't see any redeeming in her. At least not. Yeah, she has her demons, but she just wants to find who killed Travis.
So
And
my
then
my question here is the thing that I've been like itching, finding a way or like calculating in my brain and not trying to go to YouTube or anything
mhm.
is Callie the baby?
Okay. Yeah. That's what I thought. I was gonna ask you, is she the one? I assume.
Is
Oh well, it's hard to assume. I
Yeah,
mean,
I don't know if Callie's the baby.
did they say how long ago it was specifically?
So it said 20 years, 20. So it's a 25th year reunion, right? So they're gonna have a reunion in 25 years. So I don't think Callie's 25 years old. So she might not be
She might lose
the
the baby.
baby.
She might lose the
She
baby
might lose
even.
the baby, right? All right. But
That's
either
that.
way, that's I don't
Yeah.
want to get ahead of ourselves. But um so last points on episode 7 is they they have sex. Adam and Sean have sex at home, and then they almost get caught. Adam hides in the closet because Jeff came home late, presumably from his mistress as well. And also, Kevin gets pissed because Nat fired the gun that Nat used for the
What? Yeah.
hunting down the
Such a
blackmailer was
stupid one.
Kevin's. And then it realizes, like, I didn't know this too. It's a good detail that for a cop, every round needs to be.
Oh, that one I knew. So I knew that was gonna come into play.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know that that was a thing. So that's good. I'm glad that there's some safety around that. But yeah,
But here I see. 1996 was the past. 2021 is the present. So
so
that's what.
25 years.
Oh shit, 96, oh six. Yeah, 16, 25. Yeah, she's not 25 because they're talking about college.
Yeah. So
So she's not gonna hold the baby. Or I mean,
so
at
what
least
happened to the baby? What happened to the baby?
yeah, she's gonna be 25. Ooh, she can be in play. I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll see. Last
Maybe.
3 more episodes.
All right. So that's episodes 4 to 7 of
Yellowjackets.
Yellow Jackets. Chubax, as we close this down, how would you rate the middle episodes of Yellow Jackets?
Hmm. I'd go 8. It's pretty good. The only thing
Yeah.
holding me back is I want more supernatural, confirmed supernatural stuff for me. But it's good. Aside from that, the acting is good. The pacing is good. The shots are good. And like we said, the small details were really thought out of. So it's good for me.
Yeah, I was gonna do. Yeah, I'm so right with you. I'm also a solid 8. And like I mentioned, now that I've watched enough episodes and I know the names and the faces already and their roles, it's much easier to really appreciate the diversity of the group. So that's it. Next week we'll finish off. I really can't wait. I might actually watch the last 3 episodes today or
Tonight.
tomorrow because
Okay.
I really want to figure out, is the baby
Callie.
the one that is haunting them from their graves? Is it actually supernatural?
Oh.
It's maybe just one of them too. So
Yes.
yep, that is the Yellow Jackets. Before I pass the mic to you and do the synopsis and review of the Kingsman, let's do a quick pause, real second. So
Okay. Pause.
Yeah.
All
right. After a short break, now I turn over the mic to the one and only Chubax to run us through the Kingsman.
Kingsman. So the Kingsman is a prequel starring Ray Fiennes. As this is the origin story of the Kingsman organization from the previous 2 movies, which were set in the present, while this one is set in 1902. So that's the First World War, right? Or just before? Just before the first, maybe just
Right before the First World War. Because World War
First
was like
World.
1910, 1911. Yeah.
Oh. So let's just begin with the story. So the story is a 1902 British. This is from Wikipedia. I'm just using as a guide. Or a British aristocrat named Orlando, starring Ray Fiennes, the Duke of Oxford. I don't know. I don't know. Like, so what's Oxford? Is it like an area, like a title?
It's a town in London, in United
Okay.
Kingdom. Yeah.
Okay, so the Duke of Oxford and his wife Emily and their son Conrad are visiting a concentration camp in South Africa during the Second Boer War while working for the Red Cross. So he's a pacifist, from what we know. He's just here to help people, not fight. But he's friends with the general, who's leading the camp, and then as they're visiting, a sniper attacks who wanted to kill the general but accidentally kills his wife and traumatizes him, and his son was there as well, a young son. So after that, 12 years later, Conrad has grown up and Orlando has 2 servants, Shola and Polly, who are surprisingly wait, hold on, let me just, something's wrong with the video.
Yeah, align it a little bit.
There we go. Okay. So Shauna and Polly are servants who took care of Conrad, but are secretly also part of a spy network set up by Orlando.
Shola is
played by
Jaimon Hansu.
Jaimon Hansu, and Polly is Gemma
And then Paul
Arterton.
is Gemma. Oh, I love Gemma Arterton forever.
Yeah,
I never.
She actually looks prettier here than the last few times I've seen her.
Where do we know her? I see her all the time.
She's a lot. Let me see here.
Hansel and Gretel. There you go.
Oh, I've seen her even before that.
Hansel and Gretel with fucking what's his name?
There she was in Quantum of Solace, Clash of the Titans, Prince of Persia with Jake Gyllenhaal, Hansel and Gretel. Yeah, those are the ones that I know her from. So, anyways, so they form. While has a secret spy ring, Orlando, he's trained his son to be like a killer, also like not a killer, but like a a fighter
A fighter,
who
so he
can
can protect
defend. He can
himself.
defend himself. But he made a vow to his dying wife to protect Conrad. So that's the story going forward. So as the story goes, um, the general Kitchener asks help from from Orlando to help protect Archduke Franz Ferdinand, and because there's a group led by the shepherd who wants to destabilize everything, and one of their targets is this Archduke. So while they're in
I will pause
Sarajevo,
there.
go.
As soon as we saw the silhouette of the shepherd, I
Itself.
immediately guessed who it is. Like
Me,
first
me,
guess.
me as well. No, as
Like
not when I saw the silhouette. When I saw his assistant Morton.
oh yeah. Yeah.
It's
Well,
like
yeah.
you wouldn't cast him just as an assistant. So Kitchener. During traveling with the Archduke, Conrad saves the Archduke from a bomb thrown by Gavrilo Princip, a rebel working under the Shepherd. And then, however, by chance, he has another shot and he actually kills the Archduke and the wife. And Orlando and Conrad are unable to do anything. But they do find out that the assassin Princip is part of the flock. It's called a group
I was
plotting to
really disappointed there during the Franz Ferdinand assassination where they ran into a
a dead
roadblock.
end.
It's
Not
like,
even a
come
roadblock.
on,
It's a dead end.
come
Like
on, come
no
on.
setup. Yeah,
But
then like
probably everybody was in on it, but still, come on.
yeah. So there's this group called the flock plotting to pit the German, Russian, and British empires against each other. So the flock is led by the shepherd, isolated from the. I have issues here from the isolated clifftop headquarters, and they have so many agents all around the world, and most
Mhm.
notably, like the right hand men of the leaders
Of these, yeah.
are yeah. And funnily, humorously, the all the leaders of Germany, Russia, and the British Empire are played by the same actor, but he plays the three cousins. They're said to be cousins.
Are they really cousins historically?
I don't know. I didn't check. But so the shepherd, his main goal is to destroy England because because England has been, what's the term, is it colonized, abused, has abused Scotland forever.
Okay.
So obviously he's Scottish and he wants revenge on England. So he wants to pit these three countries against each other. So I always remember from the Sum of All Fears, the speech of the bad guy, like he's a Nazi, right? To destroy America, you don't fight America. You get America and Russia to fight each other. So it's always
Smart.
stuck in my mind. Anyways, on the Shepherd's orders, Rasputin, played by Ivan Reis. Did I say that correctly?
Yep.
So
Doc Connors.
Ivan Reis, he plays Grigory Rasputin, trusted advisor to the head of the Tsar of Russia. On his orders, he poisons the son of the leader of Russia and uses his health as like blackmail to
Mhm.
keep Russia out of the war so that England and Germany go at it and without Russia's help. So knowing the Western Front will be left again, this is from Wikipedia, will be left vulnerable if Russia leaves the war. Conrad, because Conrad has a cousin in Russia and sends him this information. So knowing that they need Russia to be in the war, Conrad delivers this information to Kitchener and his aide de camp, Major Max Morton, who set sail for Russia to try to convince them to stay in the war. So their ship is torpedoed, and Kitchener and Morton
Kitchener dies.
dies. So this death guilt trips Orlando. So he goes with Russia to Russia with Shola, Polly, and Conrad to deal with Rasputin once and for all. So this one was the best scene for me. The Rasputin.
That's my favorite fight scene action, and this is a very stylized movie. There's a lot of action. A lot of them were pretty cool, but this was my favorite.
Yeah,
Because
this one, and
the ballet dancing of Rasputin was
and
dope.
and not just that, like he was the most interesting character, Rasputin here. The way he played, he actually heals uh Orlando's leg from the bullet shot that he got from the intro. He really healed him. And then
So Polly and Orlando wanted to poison Rasputin with cyanide, but
yeah,
Rasputin, I take a little bit of cyanide every day.
in the morning.
Okay,
That's so
you know
funny.
what? I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. That's pretty cool. That's
So
pretty
he's immune to poison, to cyanide. He has powers of healing. So he's the coolest character. He's bisexual, right? From all intents
cool. Oh
and
yeah,
purposes.
he likes young kids.
He likes anything. Yeah, he'll fuck anything. He's the most interesting character here, and he fights so well too. So, but they do have a fight, and Sholly, Ashola and Orlando fight him, and Conrad comes in too, right?
Conrad fights a little bit, but gets
Fights
his
a
ass
little
beat.
bit.
He
Yeah,
saves his
okay.
dad, but also his dad
Yeah,
saves him.
and then as Rasputin was about to win, he gets shot in the head by. Oh, Orlando comes in for the fight and beats. Was able to beat Rasputin, drowns him, but Rasputin is apparently also immune to drowning. So
He's immortal.
yeah, he gets back up, but then that's when Polly shoots him between the head. So he kills him, and then this is my issue with this. So they try and save the world. Well, they stop Rasputin from his manipulating Russia. So this should be in this scene. Conrad also after that they go home, and on the road in the train, Conrad's they celebrate his 19th birthday, and then he still says he wants to join the army. So my issue with this is like Conrad already sees the players of the war, and he sees how futile the war is, right?
Mhm.
It's the war is not it's not a just cause. It's just people fighting, or they're just pawns
Other people's fights. Yeah.
for the leaders who are not fighting for anything. You know, they're just fucked up. So he should. I don't see why he would still be determined to join the army. Like it's cooler, not cooler. It's smarter to be here with the aspiring, because this is where you'll matter more. You know what I
Oh,
mean. So that
yeah.
was my
I mean,
explanation.
totally agree.
So, anyways, the dad couldn't do anything because he's of age now, and then so the at the shepherd's order, we go back to the shepherd. Uh, wait, how's this an advisor? Okay, so this one is when they they try to distract the Britain and United States by sending a telegram. Uh, what was the message again? Like to was it to Germany or Russia?
I think it was to
I'm so
Germany.
wait. This is the German emperor. Okay, so Eric Janhausen, an advisor to the German leader, sends the Zimmermann telegram. So the Zimmermann telegram. Oh, okay, okay. So the German assistant sends a telegram to Mexico to try and incite a war, to add to incite Mexico to pick a fight with America so that they'll stay out of the war.
Mhm.
So this is technically evidence. If America finds out, then they'll join the war against
Mhm.
Germany.
Mhm.
Okay. So this is the 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 telegram that is what becomes the proof that they need. So the shepherd recruits Vladimir Lenin, and orders them to overthrow the Russian Tsar, uh, to remove Russia again from the war, and then says sending assassins to kill the Romanovs. So now of age, Conrad joins the Grenadier Guards against his father's wishes. Orlando meets with King George, who tries to summon Conrad back. But then he's smart. He's his father's son. He switches with a soldier named Archie Reed, played
That's
by.
one of those things like, wow, wow.
I mean, I'm sure it happened during the war.
Played by
Aaron
Pietro.
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
So essentially, he's going to be a main character in the next movie because you don't hire Aaron Taylor Johnson for like 6 seconds in the fucking movie.
To sense, so Archie Reed. So Conrad has this thing with like with the old myth of King Arthur, Merlin, Lancelot. So he sends Archie Reed in his place to go home. Nicknames him Lancelot to send a message to his father that you don't control me. You know, I'm my own man. I can play games as well. So disguised as Archie, a member of the Black Watch, Conrad was able to. He volunteers for a dangerous mission, and he successfully brings home the evidence needed for America to join England against the war. However, when he gets
Oh,
the proof, he joined. I thought he was gonna die before he gets the proof, but
I thought so too.
this
So
was
when,
fucked up.
this
So when
was so surprising for me.
right,
Super surprising.
such a Kingsman move. So when he's able to retrieve the message, goes back to his line, and then when they ask him his name, somebody knows Archie Reed, so they immediately think he's a spy because he's using somebody's name, and they shoot him
Mhm.
dead. That was so stupid though, but still. So Orlando is devastated. Everything he did was to protect his son, and he still failed. Well, that's debatable, but that's what he thinks. So he becomes a drunk, and then what sucks more is that the proof that Orlando found that was supposed to help America come to the war did not work. Something's happening that America's still not joining the
America
war.
still is not joining the war.
Yeah. So I think it's President Wilson. Yeah. So despite Conrad's proof, the America doesn't go to war. Orlando that learns is forced out of his what do you call that, his depression.
Retirement. Yeah.
Like, his depression. He to like nice scene with Polly that he's
I
forced
love
to
Polly.
to do something, to be, as Polly said, he needs to be the man that his son would have been. So he finds out that Wilson is being blackmailed because he has a sex tape with somebody else, with Mata Hari, an agent of the Shepherd.
Mata.
So he fights Mata Hari, and then the the con the consul the U.S. consul
Mhm.
representative in England says that in order for America to fight in the war, they need the negatives of that sex tape. And Orlando, via a cashmere, a
Cashmere scarf.
cashmere scarf, brings it to the Kingsman, and they identified it that it only comes from a rare goat from a rare mountain. One mountain in one country, one type of goat. It's kind of fucking far fetched that this goat can only grow in that area. Oh my god. So, anyways, but they found out that's where it is. So they go. I do like the scene that uh Shola doesn't want to jump from the plane.
Yeah.
It's like, and I like his reasoning. It's not that I'm afraid to die. It's I'm afraid to fail. If I
Yeah.
do this, I might fail because of my fear. So Orlando has to. I do have to say I'm not majorly surprised, but I do like the twist that this is really Orlando. Like the son dies, and Orlando's like the real first Kingsman in a sense.
Yeah.
So anyways, so they do a plan like there's only one elevator or lift up the mountain, and it's protected by people under shooters on the ground, and then of course they have no access to the top. So the plan was Orlando to drop via airplane or just jump from the plane, and the plane will just crash. And then, because he's the only one that can fly, so he jumps and with the parachute, stuff happens. He's still able to land, and then he's able to send the lift down while fighting. Or no, he was able to fight with the giant guy on the lift.
The big guy, yeah, for a
Yeah.
while.
And then using the counterweight, Paulie was able to send Shola up. It's a nice scene, a nice fight scene. And then so it's Shola now and Conrad, and the guy in the counter on the lift going down that died had the negative, so Paulie has the negative, while Shola and Orlando try to finish the fight
Find the shepherd.
with the shepherd. So as usual, the big twist, non-twist, because it was like as telegraphed as anything I've ever seen. The assistant aide de camp of General Kitchener Morton was found to be the shepherd. So this is my issue. Like, how was he able to? This is 1908, so it's not like there's lots of commercial flights. How did he come back and forth as an aide to a general to this mountain range to give?
I didn't even think about that.
To give orders to his flock and do shit with the goats. And he looks like he lives there a lot. And then he's also the aide of a general in war. It's not
I was
like,
gonna say he'd be very busy.
I know. So that was like number one. And then like it just seems really bad logistics to always meet in one spot for a spy group. You know what I mean? Even a secret spy group.
That is true.
So anyways, they go, they fight. It's a coolish enough fight, but this is one of my issues too. Like, our favorite fight scene was Rasputin, right?
Very early.
Yeah, and it was cool. Like first third. But if you compare it to the first fights in the first two movies, it's not even in your top 3 or top 4. The Rasputin fight, right? And that was already the coolest one here. So that's my issue here. Is like, I don't know if they were hampered by the gadgets. I don't think it's more like the camera work wasn't as unique, and
it's in the end it's about choreography, and
it wasn't as trippy as the first two, because like the first two really I just rewatched it the past few nights after I watched this, because I'm like, I want to see Eggsy again. So I just saw the fights there, and like Pedro Pascal, Colin Firth, man, those fights were really, really creative.
I love the Colin Firth fights were the best. I still remember the church scene.
So
that is the most gruesome thing.
If I have a critique for this Kingsman, I mean, I liked it well enough, but the fight scenes don't hold the candle to the first two. So anyways, yeah, they go through the usual stuff. They're able to beat the shepherd and kill him, and then America joins the war so fast, and then a year after the war, Orlando purchases the Kingsman Tailor Shop as a front for his organization, and then they meet. It's Orlando, Shola, Paulie, King George, Archie, U.S. and the U.S. ambassador, which was played by, what's his name?
I call him Devil Wears Prada guy.
Yeah.
Stanley Tucci.
Stanley Tucci. So if I'm not wrong, Orlando is King Arthur.
I don't think he's Arthur though.
No?
If I remember that.
I remember that Shola is Merlin, Archie is Lancelot, Paulie is Galahad. I don't remember the others. But anyway, so they formed the first official round table, as you say, for the Kingsman organization.
Yeah, he is Arthur.
Each assuming code names from the King Arthur legend to honor Conrad. And then in the mid-credits scene, Hanusen, played by the amazing if we haven't even mentioned him. Scene? You didn't know?
No shit.
So Daniel Bro who is Baron
Oh,
Zemo.
I love Daniel Bru.
So he's Eric Jan Hanusen. I know I'm butchering the pronunciation, but he's an occultist, and he was Shepard's second in command. He takes the mantle of the Shepherd, and he's talking to. So he's German, right? He's the one. He's like the second one in Germany. He's talking to Lenin, who's now the leader of Russia. And then there's a scene where Lenin was talking to the original Shepherd, and he says, "I'll be your strong right hand. Your problem is gonna be you need another or something like the left hand, and then I'll be the strong left hand. What you need now is another strong right hand." So while Hanusen, the new Shepherd, is talking to Lenin, and like he's saying, like, you've said that you've become the left hand. Let me introduce to you the strong right hand that will form our group. And then a young Adolf Hitler comes in, and that's where the scene ends.
Shit, I didn't see that.
Did you see that?
No, I will watch that. That seems really cool.
Well, let's see. It might be here. King post. There, it's crappy, but it'll work.
Level of discretion above the politics and bureaucracy of government-run spy organizations. To that end, I have acquired this shop, and I propose that we become the founding members of the King's. I am Percival.
Percival.
And this is
It's Quartermaster.
who will be our quartermaster.
Oh, that's why I remember Michael Caine saying that that drink was like from 1908 or something. It's because also they were drinking.
Thanks to you, comrade, our left hand is strong.
Their left hand is strong.
Said, our right hand now needs strengthening. Come in.
That guy looks familiar too, who plays Lenin.
My shepherd.
My shepherd.
This young man will come to rival your position in this world, my friend.
It is an honor, Comrade Lenin. And your name?
Adolf Hitler.
He seems familiar too.
I know. Let me see.
Adolf Hitler.
August Dale. Oh. Where did we see it? Inglorious Bastards.
Ugh.
He's the psycho guy, the German that they recruit.
Mhm.
And then who's Adolf Hitler? David Cross. The
Oh,
Reader,
him.
English White Horse. Okay.
No, I've seen him a bunch.
The Keeper. Oh no, I don't know that. Anyways, so yeah, that's I'm actually curious to see the sequel of this one, if there is, because World War II happened and it was bad. So that means the Kingsman fucked up. I mean, if there,
Yeah, I mean, I figure, or it could have been worse. So I'm interested on their take.
That
But
is
the
true.
idea is like you can't not have a sequel when the better actors are
are in line already. Stanley
Yeah,
Tucci,
exactly.
like come on, yeah. So yeah, that's the Kingsman. Just released on HBO Max on my end and Hulu, I guess, and theaters as well. December was it? Maybe.
Yeah, it was in December. It was like a Christmas release. Yeah.
So Jong, comments, likes, what?
All right. So okay, I like you. I did not know Matthew Vaughn before the original Kingsman, and the first two movies of the Kingsman I was
Oh, I think we first
really in love with.
we found him in Kick-Ass. I think that was before.
Yeah.
Kingsman.
So I've really loved this franchise, but I think it has progressively gone worse. So like particularly this one, uh, the things that I've loved about Matthew Vaughn before, I found annoying this time. The highly stylized stuff about the highly stylized choreography, even like the
And
super.
for me, it wasn't stylized enough. There wasn't. It didn't pop
Well,
out.
that's the thing.
That
I
was the
think I
issue
don't
for
know what
me.
happened with the stylization or the choreography, but it didn't pop. It didn't
Yeah,
gravitate towards me. The story in general also
and
maybe it's because
he
our dumb
directed it.
brains.
He did direct
He
it.
directed it. Yeah, he wrote and directed it. That's why it was a
Yeah,
big thing. That's why I was really looking forward to it. Um, but the thing is, the I think maybe it's because we are dumb non-Europeans. There might be a higher level of world history here that would have been appreciated had we known what had happened, right? So for
I
me,
mean,
like I
yeah,
don't know whether they were cousins, like the German, the yeah, the United Kingdom, and then the Russian. Were they actually cousins? Because they
I
were
mean,
portrayed as cousins.
I know. I've heard of them. The All of the characters here are really like Rasputin,
Yeah,
Hansen,
yeah.
Zimmerman. Yeah, so I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know. Let me try and figure it out.
Like
So
the idea here is just like I know that there's a certain an additional level of appreciation if we know a little bit more of that particular part of history, but usually movies do a better job in explaining that because I really found the story a little bit more complicated, convoluted the while watching it.
mhm.
Although there were still a few pops that I really enjoyed. Like I mean, even at the start about the Red Cross of being a pacifist with Orlando and the wife. I love that part. Fucking love the Rasputin fight. I loved how Conrad died
Mhm.
super unassumingly, super weirdly, like super like boop, like right
Boop,
that.
it's gone.
Like I was super surprised. Like I don't usually get
You
surprised
know,
with that.
actually thinking about it, it kind of has that same type of style from when Harry died in number one.
Yeah,
They just shot him in the
it
head, or in the eye, technically.
the eye. I mean, well, this one, Harry's still alive yeah, but at Misha, but this one's like right in the middle of the head. So I'm glad that he's dead. Um, but yeah, I mean, I love all of the fact, but I'm just weirded out that it feels to me that this was written for a two-parter instead of a one-parter. You got me? Like usually, like they did not make sure that this Kingsman 1 was super solid because they have a few more things in their chamber after.
Mm-hmm.
Because like Aaron Taylor Johnson is a super cool actor, and then all the first group of the Kingsmen, the every single actor there was like, oh, okay, I'm really excited to watch them in the next movie. But
Yeah,
what
the
did you
first
do for
one.
me in this movie?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just one of those things where I'm disappointed because I had expectations of the movie. Like, I had you know the pedigree of Kingsman, Matthew Vaughn writing and directing it again. And I was if I wasn't hyped, I wouldn't be as critical as I am right now. Right. But I was, and I was super excited when it dropped very quickly from the theaters to streaming services for me to watch. So yeah, because when we were talking about what movie of the week to watch, it's like, yeah, let's do that. I'm excited to watch it. And then when I watch it's like, not too great. How about you,
Yes.
Chubax? What do you think about the movie?
Same with me. I like a lot of elements. I like Ray Fiennes. I like Jamon Hansu.
Jaimon Hasu.
Jaimon Hansu. I love Polly, Jamartinson. Uh, Lots of cool scenes as well, like Polly with the sniper scene. Some of the fights are cool as well, but just not enough. Like there was not
Mm.
no eye popping fight scene. Like each Kingsman movie, the first one and the second one had, I mean the second one wasn't as probably not as good as the first, but there's still a lot of more than two, at least three each. And then when this one, the best one wasn't even on par with the worst one on the first two. So it lacked a lot of style. Um, but yeah, the setup, they left it all on the setup, and it's disappointing when they do this. Where yeah, I guess it's the sickness of like the universe where you keep holding things back. I'm happy that
Yeah.
Marvel knows that you should put enough bang on the movie, because if you don't
Mhm.
put enough bang on the movie, they're not gonna come back for the next one.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
this
Well,
one,
I mean, I do like the idea of writing for a set. Like if for example, if Matthew Reeves said, "Oh, it's going to be a trilogy, Kingsman origin story." Okay, I like that. It means that it's one, two, three. But the idea of there, it's like it needs to be solid
yes,
individually as well.
yes, agreed. But yeah, so I hope they continue with this. So I really want to see what happens next. But
Yeah.
sad that this one didn't live to the
That's the
expectations.
thing. Now that they set it up, they better deliver better on the next one.
Yes, and
Yeah.
the
And
topics are more amazing, like World War Two. So wait, this one finished around what 19
14, 15, something like that.
something 1920, right? So World War Two happened 41 to 45.
1940. Yeah. Yeah. So
So
I think
big,
it'll be more familiar to us. So it'll be more palatable. So yeah,
yeah.
um
We're down
I'm
to rating
interested.
it.
Yeah.
You go first this time.
Oof. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to give this a 6. Like it's good. It's still something that you can watch, particularly when it's on HBO Max and you don't have anything else to watch. It is good action. It's Ray Fiennes. Come on, Ray Fiennes doing a lot of his own fight scenes, which is kind of super cool. But in the end, it's like maybe like if you have like European viewers out there, if they appreciated the historical background around that, maybe that's the only thing missing. But yeah, it's like as a standalone movie for me, it was a bit lacking, but it's still entertaining in terms of visuals and acting. How about you?
I'll go with the 5. 5. So it's still in the good good grade. Uh, I didn't regret watching it, so I
Mhm.
would recommend watching it. I mean, again, in context,
In
it's HBO
context, yeah.
Max. I'm already subscribed. I enjoyed it. I watched it to the wife, so we had fun, and it's good. I wouldn't have seen it in the theater. I mean,
So
I would
that's what I
have,
was.
but I would have been more disappointed.
See, that's the thing. So
Right?
I think I was telling you guys during Christmas, like I would have watched this in my night talk where I could have lunch or dinner while watching it. But I figured like I didn't want to risk COVID for, a movie that I could wait for a little bit. So I would have been like you, I would have been really disappointed if I seen this in theaters. So
Yeah.
I'm lucky that I did. I still enjoyed it. Still don't regret watching it. But again, comparing it to the pedigree, it's like it's not up there.
Yes.
Cool.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it. That's it for our episode of Plus 63 HP reviews. Again, please watch us on YouTube whenever you are able. Just type in youtube.com/plus 63 HP. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you know when any of our 3 shows drop. And you can enjoy those at your own leisure. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Our handle is at plus 63HP. And if you don't want to watch us, you want to keep us on the background or just listen to us, we are available in every single major podcasting app that you would want to use. We particularly like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon. And again, as a reminder, next week we will be finishing off episodes 8 to 10 of the Yellowjackets season 1. I will be doing a very quick, no spoilers, the Batman review. I'm
I'm
very
not
excited
listening to
about
it.
that. I'm going to spoil everything for everyone now. Okay, no spoilers review. And our movie of the week next week, an HBO Max movie. We're shifting gears. Like we've done fantasy, we've done period piece action, we've done sci-fi. Now we're going to do just like a biopic a biopic. So King Richard, the father of Serena Williams, played by Will Smith. Actually, a really cool movie. So we'll discuss that next week. Chubax, your goodbyes.
Again, thank you. I can't believe we've just hit 1,500 subs. So please, we need. Can't wait for you guys to comment more, so we can keep discussing. And thank you very much.
Yep, thank you again to every single one of our 1,500 subscribers. We're looking forward to growing that community more. We're looking to talking with you more. So feel free to leave a like and a comment in every video or any video. We always are all up in that business. We always love commenting to the people that are in our community. And then we will look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you very much and goodbye.
Bye bye.